Today on Refined.
I'm so insanely, wildly in love with you.
The Bachelorette hits hometowns and gives our roundtable plenty to chew on.
She wasn't even eating the wings with sauce on them. If you look at them, they're bone dry.
Plus, birds of a feather get a second chance together. Meet the local lifesaver making it happen. And
I do swear and understand that Taylor and its artifacts are protected.
I get a VIP tour of Washington's secret past hidden in the Cascades. Seattle Refined starts now. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Seattle Refined. I'm Gard Swanson. So after weeks and weeks of buildup, tonight things finally get intimate on ABC's The Bachelorette. That's right. It's the Fantasy Suite episode, and our Refined Roundtable gets you ready for all the action.
We pick things up with arguably the most important episode of the year. It's time for hometowns, and Garrett gets the first hometown, which means we're headed to a farm in California to kind of see what his life was like growing up.
Sit on over here, darling.
Try with me, baby. You definitely see where Garrett gets it all from. His family's very outgoing.
Hey, everybody, this is Becca.
Nice to meet you. But there is one main player throughout this entire hometown date at Garrett's home, and that's the ex-wife.
One of the most gut-wrenching things I've ever had to watch was the night that he moved out of his home.
I don't want to see him go through with what he went through before.
I was a huge Garrett fan, and now I'm not so much a Garrett fan anymore because I don't think Garrett or his family is ready to move on from this.
Next date.
We move on from what I think a lot of folks consider to be a boring date to Jason's date, which I loved from start to finish.
We're here in Buffalo, New York, and I'm bringing Becca to my hometown.
I have to say, this date was hard for me to watch because it's hard watching your boyfriend fall in love with another woman on TV. I also think he's going to be the next Bachelor, and I'm not happy about it.
So they start off too, and they do the Buffalo thing. They do a wing eating contest, which I'm like, Becca, take bigger bites of that wing. Those wings look so good. I was kind of disappointed in the whole wing eating contest.
She wasn't even eating the wings with sauce on them. If you look at them, they're bone dry.
It's like the biggest takeaway from this episode is our disappointment in Becca's, like, appetite.
Yeah.
Can we talk about his brother and brother-in-law? Because they may have been the stars of the episode. A of all, they're awesome. B of all, they give him the best advice, which is, you've got to go and tell her how you're feeling, which leads to Jason professing his love in what I found to be a very eloquent and, like, kind of, it felt like a natural way.
I'm so insanely, wildly in love with you.
So then it's time to go to Blake's hometown, which he kind of has a bizarre family background.
So we go back to Blake's house and we see his mom. And the only thing we can focus on at this point is the helmet that's on her head, which is her hairdo.
Blake is by far the happiest I've seen him in a very long time.
Blake's mom's hair has its own personality.
So I think it's like a small town thing. She's had that haircut probably since like the 70s, 80s, and it works for her, you know? She's working it. But no surprise, it's a great date, and you still walk away saying Becca's totally into it. And then it's time to go to the last home date, which is Colton. Hi!
Come here.
Colton takes Becca to a children's hospital, and they actually spend some time with a couple of kids who are patients there, which was actually really lovely. Then Colton goes home, and Colton proceeds to tell us that, and Becca, that he has never brought a girl home to meet his parents before.
It's not that I don't not want to bring people home to him, it's just I'm very careful and selective of who I bring that home to.
I have always had this bad feeling about Colton. Like, it's just like this phoniness that I don't know if it's like something about his face or just everything.
There's something about Colton's dad that really rubbed me the wrong way, that if it was like the tiger mom version of a dad.
As much as I want happiness for him, as much as I can see how much he cares about you right now, unless you truly care the same about him, I don't want you to pick him.
The fact that Colton decided to pursue sports instead of sex, like, leads me to believe a lot of that came from his dad, because his dad seems like really, really like on him about certain things, and was even like with Becca, like, I don't want you to choose him. It's almost like my son's a winner, and if you're gonna ruin this winner thing with him, it just seemed really, really off.
I actually was more perturbed by the interactions between first Colton and his mother, and then Becca and his mother, where Colton talks to his mom about his virginity, and then Becca comes
comes in, and Becca talks to his mom about his virginity.
Last week, he opened up about just the fact of, you know, like not being that intimate with women, and
he just shared that with me.
Yeah.
And it's like, can you imagine sitting in front of like your boyfriend or girlfriend's mother who you've met 15 minutes ago and start talking about their son's sex status?
No.
Like, it was so uncomfortable. I was just cringing.
Just when you think the part of Colton's, you know, whole part of his episode couldn't get any more awkward, we fast forward to Becca hanging out with a bunch of the girls, Tia and some of the old contestants, and then Tia decides to take Becca and drops a bombshell on her.
Like, if I'm being completely honest with myself, like, I do feel like I still have feelings for Colton.
I personally, I've never been a huge Tia fan, and so this didn't really shock me.
I think when it comes to the rose ceremony, she ends up letting Colton go anyway. So whether Tia was part of that decision or not, I think Becca wasn't really into it to begin with.
So Colton goes home. We have the final 3 guys. We have Jason, Garrett, and Blake, and we are headed into the most fantastical of all the dates, the fantasy suites, and we will see who she takes back to her room tonight.
The Bachelorette airs tonight at 8 right here on Como 4, followed by The Proposal at 10. Coming up on Seattle Refined, no car, no problem. We'll show you how you can visit one of the Northwest's most beautiful beaches even if you don't have wheels. But first, a local woman's parrot passion takes flight.
Do you have kisses? Do you have mama kisses? Yep, you're a good girl.
We'll show you the project that's a real feather in this local bird lover's cap. Next. Welcome back to the show. I'm Guard Swanson. You know, here at Refined, we are big animal lovers. Just about everyone on our staff has a pet, including me. We recently added Loki the puppy to our family, and now we can't imagine our lives without him. And that's the same way a local woman we met feels about birds. She loves them so much, she started a non-profit parrot sanctuary that has really taken flight. Here's Malia Karlinski.
This special spot in Woodinville is for the birds, literally. Here, birds of a feather do flock together. Christy Padilla takes them all under her wing.
This is Zazu's house, and we sanctuary birds, parrots. And we house probably 30 Amazons, 20 African greys, and about 200 macaws.
250 birds live at this aviary. But it started back in 2001 with 2, Zazu and Howard.
Our family had 2 birds of our own, and I was helping another rescue, and she was unable to take the large birds. And because we had a lot of experience with large birds and a large flight for our 2 birds, we offered to help them out.
2 quickly turned to 20, and the numbers kept rising as Christy realized how big and how heartbreaking the need for them to have a place to live was.
Most of these birds come from homes, from families that thought that they would make a good pet and that they would be able to keep the bird for the length of its life. And 20 years in, it was just too much.
When people bring parrots into their homes, many don't realize they can live 80 years or more. 2 large buildings provide a safe haven.
This is our main flight. This is where a lot of the birds have the freedom to fly and forage and go inside and out.
When it comes to making the birds feel comfortable, Chrissy and her team have thought of everything in this 4,000-foot indoor space. The land used to be part of an orchard.
So the birds are hanging out up there basically and checking everything out.
Yes, they are.
And I noticed there's trees or something.
Yes, we have the trees here that were planted here or were existing when we built the building.
Circles made out of PVC and tied with fleece hang from the ceiling.
They like to climb. I don't know if trees or PVC or anything. They love to climb. They'll climb this wire more so than flying. They're like a jungle gym.
Like people, the parrots have their own personalities.
What's going on with this guy over here?
Oh, they want my attention. They're like, hey, I'm gonna hang on to your shoe till you pick me up.
These feather friends have fun in here too. We spotted Zazu, the bird who started it all, playing peekaboo with Christy.
Zazu, peekaboo, peekaboo.
Oh my gosh, she's actually peekabooing with you.
Yeah,
In the other large structure, called the hotel, you'll find birds who need a little extra TLC.
Do you have kisses? Do you have mama kisses? Yep, you're a good girl. This bird is a green-winged macaw named Elizabeth.
And what's her story?
She belonged to a family, and she kept making a big mess in their house, and the wife didn't want it anymore, so she brought her here. Not Elizabeth's owner, but most people that bring their birds here are devastated. They feel like a failure. They feel like they failed the bird, and it's very traumatic.
With so many creatures to take care of, Chrissy depends on a flock of helpers.
We have approximately about 65 volunteers off and on that come in every morning, and we feed and we clean. And I mean, you look at it now and it looks like it's been this way for a year, but we clean every day.
Krista Kaufman has been volunteering for 5 years.
So what do you personally get out of working with these birds here?
I'm just kind of devoted to birds, and it's one of the only places that has so much, potential for the birds to be more like, what they are meant to be. They get to fly around a bit and be with each other.
At Zazu's house, Christy Padilla has created a nest of sorts, where unwanted and abused birds can live long and happy lives.
I just want to, be a blessing to them. I feel that was my lot in life, and I just believe God wanted me to be a shepherd of animals, and so that's what I do.
Malia Karlinski, Seattle Refined.
While Zazu's house isn't open to the public, you can arrange a tour. Visit our website for more info. It's kind of creepy. Coming up on Refined, I visit one of Western Washington's hidden ghost towns, but it's not a hike just anyone can go on. Plus, we check out one of the summer's biggest parties. Here at Seattle Refined, we never get tired of hearing from you. Like us on Facebook, tweet us your story ideas, or shoot us an email telling us what you want to see on the show. You can find our inbox at hello@seattlerefined.com. Seattle Refined will be right back. Welcome back to Refined. I'm Gerd Swanson. You know, when it comes to driving around the city, we've got some good news and we've got some bad news. First, the bad news. A new study by WalletHub revealed what we already know, that driving in the city stinks. Seattle ranks 5th on the list of worst cities to drive in for 2018. That's out of 100. The good news, last year we ranked 2nd, so there's that. But if you want to ditch the car and still enjoy one of the Northwest's most scenic places, our Refined.com team has you covered. Contributor Will Harris just posted a how-to article on visiting Oregon's Cannon Beach without ever getting behind the wheel. And it's easier than it sounds. He walks you through everything on the website, so start booking your trip. One Northwest gem you can't visit unless you're invited to is the Washington ghost town of Taylor. Once upon a time, the thriving little community was home to about 1,000 people. But these days, what's left of it is hidden in the foothills of the Cascades in a location so secret, I even needed a guide to help me find it. It's under lock and key by Seattle Public Utilities, but a gateway to the past. 4 wheels can only get you so far before you have to hoof it to find history. Taylor, Washington is so top secret, I had to take a pledge before we went exploring.
I state your name.
Gerd Swanson.
Do acknowledge that Taylor is part of the Cedar River municipal drinking water supply for 1.4 million people. I realize the area is closed to protect the water supply. I do swear and understand that Taylor and its artifacts are protected.
It all started back in 1895 when Seattle pioneer Arthur Denny turned this area, loaded with natural clay, coal, and timber, into a monster manufacturing town, pumping out pipe and bricks.
As you can see, they didn't spend a lot of time thinking like, oh, we need to clean every little bit up.
Right.
This was they were in the business of making money.
Along the soggy path, you'll spot walls of the old wood kiln, now taken over by Mother Nature. So what is this?
Well, this, we believe, is some kind of press that was used to create, products. And so they would have kind of a big thing that come down and
Yeah.
To press out bricks, press out tiles,
You
press
know,
out.
if you're walking in the forest and you come upon this,
Yes.
it's kind of creepy.
It is, well, yeah, it is a little creepy.
Isn't it a little
Right?
creepy?
Well, yeah, because what we were just walking through was, you know, I mean, the forest, and yeah, and this is here.
So is there a town here?
Yeah.
Where's the town?
It's gone.
Completely gone.
Bulldozed, burned, houses demolished, you know, I mean.
Anything left? That's it.
That's it.
But at its peak, more than 1,000 people lived and worked in Taylor, went to church here, a school for all the children. There was even a public bathhouse, a baseball team. Now only hunks of memories.
The size of the brick here and these pipes, boy, they go from 4-inch to like, almost looks like 18-inch.
I think the biggest one we have an actual remnant of is a 30-inch
Wow. I mean,
sewer
look
pipe.
at this thing right here.
Yeah.
That's a beast.
Yeah, it's a beast, right? And it's stamped Denny Renton, right?
Oh yeah, right on the
right
side
there, on the side.
Everywhere you look, you see Taylor's roots.
Look at the roots are all meshed in there with the brick.
Right.
Swallowed by the past. Some products still look usable. Today, bricks at Franklin High School and the Meany Theater on the UW campus, all built with Taylor bricks. Now the lost town, shut down in 1947 because of possible water contamination spreading in the region, is a mountain of memories. The hardworking folks of Taylor did have time for pleasure. Still in plain sight, the community pool.
So this was likely just a stream, and they dammed it up like a beaver.
And all the kids would come down here and
yeah,
swim.
they come down here and swim.
And this is part of it right here?
Yeah. Oh yeah, this is it. This is the edge of the swimming pool. We are standing right here. They just built this. This is the edge of the pool, and the houses were behind. And obviously, they had a lot of fun. It's a wonderful opportunity to connect with the history of the Pacific Northwest.
Man, what a great place.
It is.
You gotta love Taylor, right?
You gotta love it. It's a wonderful piece of our history that very few people know anything about.
Remember, you can only legally visit Taylor through Seattle Public Utilities. To learn more about historic Taylor, Washington, log on to our website, seattlerefined.com. We'll be right back, but first, this refined, shareable moment.
When Cold Cut Katie and Black Forest Ham roll up in their ride, you can't help but stare.
Everyone's got a smile on their face. Everybody's like ready to ask us questions. They want to know more about the ride, what we do.
They drive around the country in this Oscar Mayer Wienermobile for a living.
I figured that this beats any cubicle I could be sitting in at this point.
They go to festivals, parades, and retail locations to say hi to all those hot dog fans. But before they can get behind the wheel of this massive Wienermobile, they first have to graduate from Hot Dog High.
That's our 2 weeks of extensive training where we learn everything from driving the Wienermobile to hot dog puns that we're going to be using on the road.
After that, they're ready to hit the road all summer long. Cold Cut Katie and Black Forest Ham say it's a treat.
Every day is a parade, so whether it's the young kid who comes up who's never seen the Wienermobile before and gets really excited, or it might be that 90-year-old person who's like, I remember seeing this back in the 50s.
For Circa in Washington, I'm Jennifer Munoz.
Guy.
Welcome back to Refined. If you're looking for some artistic fun in the sun and sand, Edmonds is the place to be tomorrow.
The Edmonds Chamber of Commerce is holding the city's annual sand sculpting contest at Marina Beach. You can come down and compete, or just come down and see what creations people come up with. Registration starts at 10 a.m. For more info, check out the Edmonds Chamber of Commerce. And folks who live in Capitol Hill are still recovering from the annual Cap Hill Block Party today. The 3-day celebration of local music took over the Pike Pine corridor all weekend. If you couldn't make it this year, never fear. Our Refined.com roving photographer was there and got a lot of action. You can see galleries from all 3 days on the website.
All right, that's going to do it for today's show. I'm Guard Swanson. Thank you so much for joining us here on Seattle Refined. We'll see you next time.